So on my own part, we want to remind you that I am proceeding with my cross-examination using the truth that is sharper than a two-edged sword.
Yes, my lord, and it's sharper than biscuit.
All right. Now, General, could you please give the General Exhibit 26 the minute of the meeting on the security of the state of the nation as at Monday, 4th day of May 1998. Exhibit 26.
Is the number of the exhibit?
Exhibit 26, my lord.
26.
Yes, you recalled having that particular meeting.
Yes, I recall having participated in this particular meeting.
Yes. By participation, you mean that you were not the only one at that meeting. Am I correct?
Correct. One man cannot participate alone.
Yes. It would appear that at the last time, before we adjourned, you had a problem recalling the participants at that meeting.
Not that I had the problem of recalling, but I say I could not recall all. I made mention of some.
Okay. Please, could you hand over exhibit exhibit 37 to the witness? I just want to assist you a bit. The report, the bulky report. Yes, 37. That is it. Yes. Please take a look at page 4 of that report.
Yes, my lord.
Paragraph F.
Correct.
There is a list of names there. 1 AVM Idi Musa I Musa, Brigadier General I.A. Sabo, Brigadier General Y Muazu, Colonel M.B. Marwa, Colonel K.J. Olu, Colonel H.I. Ali, Colonel H.I. Shuaibu, that is on page 5 now. Colonel F.O. Omenka, Lieutenant Colonel Abdallah, Major H. Al-Mustafa.
Correct, I've seen it.
Of all the personalities mentioned there, I'll be correct to say that Major Mustafa was the junior officer of all of you there.
Correct, he was the only major.
Are you aware if Major Mustafa also took a similar oath that you took in 1992 when you were commissioned an officer after graduating from the Nigerian Defense Academy?
1992, I was already a colonel. It was
Sorry,
1972.
1972, sir. Sorry, sir.
I took my oath in 1972. I don't know what type Mustafa took, whether it's the same or it has been amended.
Yes. Would I be correct to say that as a major, he was bound to carry out the orders of officers placed order above him by order of seniority? Am I correct?
Of course, where such officers are directly his commanders.
Yes. And it is therefore correct to say that by virtue of his rank as a major, he was subject to the compliance of an order dished out by you, a brigadier general. Am I correct?
Mustafa was under the late C&C. I could not have possibly given him an order. I said under command.
Yes.
Yes.
Assuming Mustafa was under your command, he would have been subject to the compliance of any orders given by you.
That is, if he were under command, yes.
Correct. Now, General, sir, I would want you to not to miss the primary responsibility of this particular forum. If I may remind you, we are supposed to do things using our past experiences for the purpose of achieving reconciliation for the overall interest of this nation.
Based on the truth, yes.
Yes. Now, your duty was to collect information, process same for the purpose of the national security of this country.
Yes, I'm not the only one in it.
And you had a direct access to the presidency with any such information that was collated or collected and processed by you that is of interest to the security of this nation. Am I correct?
Yes, not only to the presidency, but to the intelligence community meeting too.
Yes. So I will be correct to say that whatever information you got after being processed were being acted upon by the final recipient of such information. Am I correct?
I wouldn't say so, because even like I gave the example of the refinery that day, if you go to the filling station, some people go with jerrycan to buy petrol. I cannot say that they use that petrol for their cars.
Okay. So, but if for any reason the information that you collected and processed and finally given to the presidency is acted upon, and such information turned out not to be correct, would you be kind enough to accept the responsibility for giving such an information?
Not only accepting the responsibility, but I will also be prepared to be punished for misleading.
Yes. I would therefore be correct to say that whatever information that misled the presidency, the intelligence community ought to be held responsible for it.
Not all informations are emanated from the intelligence community. There are various sources. The presidency was as the apex. The president has a wider panoramic view of the whole country.
Yes.
There are even people sending him intelligence reports from overseas,
yes,
and so on and so forth. So
okay,
it's not
now,
only the intelligence community.
Now please take a look at Exhibit 26. How do you explain what could be the name given to such a meeting comprising the personalities that participated in that meeting? What could be the name of that meeting?
The name of
that particular meeting you held?
The topic is there, minute of a meeting on security state of the nation.
Yes. It is common knowledge that Colonel Marwa, or Brigadier General Marwa, was the Lagos State Administrator. In what capacity did he participate in that meeting?
Well, as I told you, I cannot say categorically of other people. I made mention of the ones that I can remember. Mind you, this is a report, which I'm not part of it. And anybody could write any name.
Are you saying that General Marwa did not take part in that meeting?
I'm not saying so, but I say that I cannot recall.
Okay. Can you recall one Colonel H.I. Shuaibu participating in that meeting?
I said it that day that I remember.
Colonel H.I. Shuaibu.
I said it. If you recall the transcript, you will see that I made mention of CDI, myself, Colonel Olu, Shuaibu, Omenka, Sule, Hamza, and I said the rest I probably cannot recall.
I'm really interested in knowing the capacity in which Colonel H.I. Shuaibu took part in that meeting. In what capacity did he participate?
This is the state of the nation.
Yes.
And the nation is all-encompassing. If there had been some input, like I told you, it's not only the intelligence community that feed the presidency with information of intelligence.
Yes.
The state administrators in their capacities as chief security officers of their various states do also such a thing.
Yes. Was Colonel H.I. Shuaibu an administrator?
He was in Plateau State.
In Plateau State at that particular time?
Yes.
Yes. What about Lieutenant Colonel M.M. Abdallah?
He was the ADC to the last CNC.
Okay. Now, please take a look at paragraph 2 of Exhibit 26.
Yes.
Paragraph 2D.
Yes.
Would you be kind enough to read that paragraph to the hearing of the Commission?
The intelligence community. It was observed that the Nigerian intelligence community had not been meeting and that this was not good enough for security.
Yes.
The recent visit by Chief of Army Staff to security group, which received wide negative publicity in the press, was considered ominous.
At this time, you were the DMI.
Correct.
Could you please explain to this commission why that visit was considered ominous?
It was ominous in the sense, as I told you, the Chief of Army Staff called me in Jos on Saturday. I can't remember the exact date, but it was a weekend Saturday, to tell me that he was going to visit security group in the middle of the week. I asked him, I say, is it Wednesday or Thursday? He said either Wednesday or Thursday, that he was going to visit security group. And I told him that, okay, we were coming to Lagos because at that time, myself as the DMI, Colonel Frank as the CEO of the security group, were not in, and the 2IC was on pass. So I told him that, okay, we are coming on Monday to prepare a brief for him so that we will be on the ground to guide him on whatever he wanted to visit the place. But that did not happen. That same Sunday and Monday, as I said, we called Mustafa to send a plane for us to travel to Lagos because we were occupied with the SIP going on in Jos.
That is why...
I'm coming. I have not finished. When we were getting ready to move to the airport, telephone call came to me from my office that the Chief of Army Staff was already in the security group. So why violating the day that we agreed upon? Why did he go when I was not there, the CEO was not there, the 2IC was not there, only a captain that was recently posted?
Are you okay?
For now, you asked me that question. For now,
okay.
That's the reason.
Now, do you know one Colonel Ahmad?
Of course, I know Colonel Ahmad.
Was he there at the time the Chief of Army Staff?
Colonel Ahmad, if you want to know, is the mole for General Bamaiyi in DMI.
Was he present at the DMI at the time of the visit?
He was in the DMI. He is at the DMI headquarters.
Would you say that Colonel Ahmad was a senior officer or a captain?
Whether he was a senior officer or not, the fact remains, why was the breach of agreement of Wednesday or Thursday?
Was the Chief of Army Staff under any duty to inform you of his movement to any unit, including the DMI?
He was not under any duty, but morally, he should have told me at that time that, no, I don't require you. But he said, yes, you can come. I'm coming on Wednesday or Thursday. But he went on that same day.
I put it to you that you never had any agreement with General Bamaiyi. He merely called you on a platform of courtesy to say, I was going to go to DMI. I put it to you that you never had any agreement that you were going to be around.
I totally disagree with your putting it to me, and I stand by my words that he violated the agreement we reached.
Thank you very much. You gave an evidence before this honorable commission that your duty or your stock in trade is not to move to and fro Nigeria and looking for where to sow discord.
Correct?
Yes. And I did put it to you that you in fact wanted to sow religious disharmony between the person of General Bamaiyi and General Abacha.
I will be the very last man to sow any religious discord. My wife is a Christian. She is married to her father was a reverend father before he died. Will I start sowing the seed of religious discord from my house? And she is a good Christian. She has not claimed not to be a good Christian, as your client has said in Lagos, quoting Genesis, and that he was not a good Christian. What he failed to tell the world at that time, the truth was that he is a retired Christian.
Well, this is not a religious forum. I would have educated you on when to be a Christian and whether there can be a retired Christian.
I have my reason for saying that he's a retired Christian.
Let us go on with this cross-examination.
Let's go.
You did state that General Bamaiyi has a pathological hatred for Islam.
I said it because he is a retired Christian, like I said.
Are you still maintaining that particular position?
Of course, I maintain it because I cited that example.
Okay.
And I told you that I am the last to be sowing the seed of religious discord because my wife is a Christian. She is still a Christian. I at times carry her to her church when there is no driver.
Okay.
And wait for her to finish her prayer and come.
Thank you very much for assisting Christianity. Do you know who was General I.R. Bamaiyi's military assistant when he was the Chief of Army Staff?
Yes.
Is he a Christian or a Muslim?
He's a Muslim. He's a Muslim.
Do you know the security officer?
Yes.
General Bamaiyi, was he a Christian, a Muslim, or a retired Christian?
He was a Muslim.
Yes.
He's a Muslim, rather.
Do you know the person that prepares General Bamaiyi's food, meal? One Alhaji Adisa, a warrant officer, is a Muslim.
I don't go into his kitchen, so I don't know.
Now, I'm telling you now that his own cook is one Alhaji Adisa and is a Muslim.
I told you,
Do you also know that all the drivers to General I.R. Bamaiyi are Muslims? Do you know?
I don't know all his drivers.
You don't know. Do you also know that General I.R. Bamaiyi has a blood sister that is a Muslim, and she is still surviving? He has not killed her. Do you know?
You are telling me now.
You don't know General Sabo?
Who?
You don't know that General I.R. Bamaiyi? Would you just please be...
Well, there is one that we said here in this our write-up, which he sponsored her to Saudi Arabia based on the price because he slept with her.
His sister?
A cousin or something is in the write-up.
Okay. Now, General Bamaiyi was the Chief of Army Staff, and before him was General Salihu Ibrahim.
Come again, please.
General Bamaiyi was the Chief of Army Staff, and before him was General Salihu Ibrahim. Not immediately.
Not immediately, yes.
Yes. General Saliu Ibrahim is a Muslim.
Yes.
Before General Bamaiyi, there was also another chief of army staff who was a Muslim.
His immediate predecessor, Kazir.
Yes. Could you please tell the name of...
I say Major General Kazir.
Kazir. Is it true that General Bamaiyi, as chief of army staff, lived in the same residence called Flagstaff House?
Correct.
Do you know who built the mosque in that particular house?
I don't know. I know
Would that be
there
correct to say that your hatred for Bamaiyi proceeded out of ignorance on the ground of religion?
No, it's not out of ignorance. It's out of his behavior and actions.
Would you consider one who has built a mosque as one who does not want Islam?
You could build a mosque for your own, for a different purpose. You can do that to hoodwink rather. Because I told you the other time, when he told me to write this investigation, to write a report about these activities of Bamaiyi, I wrote a very beautiful preliminary investigation for him. Because that is part of the game plan.
Well, we all have seen that you lied in that regard.
I didn't lie, and I don't lie.
At the time you alleged General Abacha briefed you on those publications that you carried out, were you the only one that was briefed?
On the...
That you should go ahead and be making publications against the person of General I.R. Bamaiyi. You stated here that it was done on the instructions
It was done on the instruction of General Abacha, and I deduce reason why that there was no problem at the production, because I took the handwritten draft, gave it to the CSO, who gave to General Abacha's MA, one Captain Lawal then,
please
to print, to type.
Don't bring Mustafa into this matter. According to your evidence, you said Mustafa is not privy to that publication.
But I said it that I took the handwritten draft to him. I said it that day. I took the handwritten draft to him. I said that he was not directly, but he was remotely in the know of the thing. He was here. He also
my question to you is this.
Yes.
When General Abacha briefed you,
yes,
how many of you did he brief?
I was with him. And I came and met these other officers and told them, let's go ahead and start writing.
You were with him how? Were you the only person he briefed, or together with these officers that call themselves concerned officers? Were you the only one that was...
I had access to General Abacha, like I said before.
General Abacha briefed you alone?
Yes.
So, because it is only General Abacha that can confirm this or not, and you know he's dead, you decided to lie to him.
I told you instances, his MA, type it. If I had any hidden agenda, the MA to the lessee, he will be the last man I will give such a job to do.
I put it to you that you have lied even to the death.
I am not lying, I will not lie, I'm constant.
Yes.
On the truth.
So, where did you brief the others?
I called them.
Where
I briefed them.
Where
it was in Lagos, in my house.
You briefed them in Lagos?
Yes.
In your house?
Initially it was, sorry, I'm coming. Initially, when we got this instruction, we were in Jos. We were in Jos that time. So we, Colonel Olu and Colonel Omenka, who were with me in Jos, I briefed them. Then we started the production. Then later on, we also met in Lagos. That time we had Salah break. So we moved to Lagos and completed the distance, the draft.
Yes, go ahead.
Thereafter, I took it to the villa where the MA to the lessee type it.
General Sabo.
Yes.
Would I be correct that you lack the capacity to carry out your wicked intentions and desires all by yourself? You have to co-opt people.
I told you earlier on that a wickedness of your client was also replied in the same vein, if you take that one as wickedness. I didn't like the capacity, but this is a job that requires a lot of input from everybody. Hence, we formed a team and wrote it as directed. So you cannot reinvent the wheel. We were already investigated in this matter during the SRP when we were detained for 6 months and 1 day. So you cannot reinvent the wheel. The fact is there.
My Lord. My Lord.
At the end of the question.
No, my Lord, I would like to interject here. I think my learned friend should desist from calling, from insulting the witness while he is testifying. Please, I think this should not happen at all. The witness is here to answer questions put to him by the commission, and his answers are to the commission. Any insult to him is an insult to the commission.
Well, it is on record that the witness himself did insult my client severally. Well, it's okay if rented crowd will be brought here to be clapping.
I am the last man to rent any crowd because I don't have the wherewithal. I didn't steal.
Well,
my records are there. When we were being investigated, all the bank accounts were checked. There was no stealing.
Witness, you shouldn't insult counsel. Counsel, you shouldn't insult witness.
Thank you, my lord. Please take a look at Exhibit 26. Can you read paragraph 2B thereof?
I think that day I read this, the same paragraph B.
Please, could you read paragraph 2B of Exhibit 26, please?
I said I read it that day.
He wants you to read it again.
Okay, my lord, as you please, sir. Adoption of the CNC and the military. It was observed with concern that the military was yet to issue an official statement on the adoption of the CNC as the party's flag bearer for the next presidential election. It was also observed that although a meeting was held about 6 weeks ago mandating Chief of Army Staff to discuss the issue with the CNC, nothing of that sort had taken place. On this, a member opined that the Chief of Army Staff was definitely not in support of the transition program and that he had become a danger to all. It was felt that a joint meeting of PRC and Council of State should be called where the issue of the CNC's adoption vis-a-vis the military will be tabled. It was suggested that the Chief of Army Staff be mandated to brief the press. There is a small blank, I don't know what it is. It's not clear, of the proposed long sitting.
Yes. Would I be tasking much of your intelligence if I ask you what DMI clearance means with relation to officers traveling abroad?
DMI's clearance?
Yes. Do you know what it means?
Yes.
Could you explain to this commission what that means, please?
Yes, you have to get clearance to travel abroad.
Yes.
There is a special form, I cannot remember the nomenclature now,
yes,
which is being signed, and that will allow you to be cleared at the airport to proceed.
Yes. Now, is it an offense for an officer to travel abroad without a DMI clearance?
It is an offense.
Is it an offense for an officer to leave his unit without any leave or pass?
Yes.
I'll be correct to say that in military terms you call it award.
Correct.
Do you know how the absence of Colonel Kemi Peters was reported? Do you know you spoke about Kemi Peters?
Yes.
How was his absence from the War College reported?
Yes. Yes, it was reported that he ran away, having had his name as one of the people who had been arrested in that coup.
Yes. Now, where did he run away to, if you may know?
I didn't know because by the time he came back, an investigation was carried out. I was in detention, so I don't know the,
Okay.
the
But
facts that emerged.
at the time he ran away, you were the DMI.
Correct.
Did you issue any DMI clearance to Peters?
He was in the National War College.
Yes.
The DMI is not supposed to be issuing clearance for everybody.
Yes.
It's the tri-service institution. Traveling of officers in those institutions are always cleared by the Chief of Defense Intelligence.
Yes. Are you saying now, if a participant at the War College intends to travel abroad, he does not require a DMI clearance?
He requires a clearance from the CDI because National War College is a tri-service institution.
Does he require a DMI clearance? As an army officer, does he require a clearance from the DMI? That is my question.
That is what I'm saying. You are referring to the National War College. National War College is not an army institution per se. It's a tri-service institution.
So there was no necessity for a DMI clearance by Colonel Peters?
I told you that there is the need for CDI to clear them because anybody from tri-service institution, National War College, Command and Staff College, NDA, DSU, it's all the responsibility of the CDI.
Sorry, sir.
I was only concerned with Army.
If I may ask, what were your qualifications that made it eligible for you to become the DMI?
There was no qualification as such. I was appointed, and it behoved on me to comply with my appointment.
You did not undertake any intelligence course?
I did when I was going to become the DA in Cotonou, Defense Attaché in Cotonou. I attended an intelligence course at the DIA.
Now, are you aware of a brigadier general who traveled on a Friday to London, returned on Sunday without a DMI clearance? Can you recall such a brigadier general and what eventually happened to him?
He was of the pay. And we conducted the report, investigated him, forwarded the investigation to the Army headquarters. What became of him, I cannot rightly say because at that time I was preparing to go for my work college.
But was he punished?
Yes.
He was punished for traveling without a DMI clearance?
Exactly.
Yes. Now, even though you insist that those publications carried out by you were given with the instructions of the Chief of Army of the CEC. Now, you were not bold enough to own up to those publications when you were confronted.
Not that I was not bold enough not to. They had to prove to me, because when they called me, like I told you, when they called me to confirm me this thing, I said the handwritten, I said it to the panel. The handwritten, I initiated it. That is why it hurts me when Colonel Frank is not here. We were brought face to face with him at the panel, and he was trying to deny. I said, no, don't deny. I was the one who sent those manuscripts this thing to you, to send to the press for publication.
General Sabo, sir, I put it to you that when you were confronted with the handwritten document, you denied it.
Bring the videotapes of my denial of the SIP, because there were videotapes.
Before you were arrested, you were confronted with it and you denied, which necessitated the Provost Marshal having to clear the handwriting with a previous writing you did. You denied
No. The Provost Marshal never called me on that issue. When did he call me to clear?
Well, my Lord, I seek to tender this document in evidence.